See, you haven't seen the video yet, but I want to show you the video, and then we will discuss this atrociousness here that they are discussing. What's going on here? Whoops, I'll get you out of here, Bubba. Hey, welcome back.
Number 11.
You hear it?
Okay.
Next 5 years, would you rather be Florida, Florida State, or Miami?
Florida State.
Without question.
Yes.
Now, I know they're the best team right now. But Norvell, do you see a high ceiling there?
I think he started to figure it out more than the one that I can trust with the other schools, at least.
Well, certainly Cristobal had a disappointing first year. I think Napier's terrible.
Yeah, I'm not a believer in Napier. Cristobal, I don't hate as much, but I just think I felt like they had talent this year, and they really stunk, and that to me is a problem.
It's crazy to say, but I think you go Florida State, Miami, Florida.
I
agree 100%.
Although this is a gigantic year for telling that, because if Miami takes a big step forward on Cristobal, the way he's capable of recruiting, I think he could get it going real quick.
Florida's getting passed, man.
I mean, Napier was a bad hire. I say it all the time, but
they
get mad at me for saying it.
They grabbed fucking Graham Mertz. He stinks.
Graham Mertz.
You know who they do have?
Jack Miller from Ohio State, who was horrible.
Oh, Jack Miller stinks?
He felt the reason he left was because he was the first one to actually commit.
Yeah.
McCord came, Stroud came, and his ass went way down the list immediately. He's not good. Not good at all.
Now, I will say, Florida, they're almost like a NASCAR driver. They had a great engine, and then for whatever reason, they just keep getting passed one by one by one. It's not immediate. It's a slow fall. Now it's like,
well, you know why?
They're behind Tennessee. Are they about to
Mullen? Mullen was the dumbest thing they ever did.
They had a driver who won 3 races in a row, and then he finished 12th in a race, and they fired his ass. They said, you can't drive the car anymore. It's crazy.
It's Kentucky. Who'd you rather be in the next 5 years, Kentucky or Florida?
Stoops
is very good.
That's the reason I say Kentucky, because of Stoops.
I'd rather have the team with Stoops, yeah.
Blasphemy there. Okay, let's start with that first, because I'm riled up here, boys. Like I am. Oh my goodness. First of all, Brandon Walker. I mean, look, you guys, they do the thing over there, not necessary roughness. I'm not here to talk shit, but I am here to talk shit. So let's not get it twisted. Can somebody clear his throat? Like, I know he can come at me and say I got bushy eyebrows. It sounds like my eyebrows are in his throat. Like, I don't know how people listen to it. It's unbelievable. Anyways.
You gotta get up here.
Yeah, just sit up. You know what I mean? Just cough it up, please. You're like Mahomes.
Well, actually,
like, I don't know if you have a. Do you have a code? Do you have a cold? Yeah. Do you have a cold? Cough it up here. Here's why I'm frustrated. You're gonna Mark Stoops. Mark Stoops has been at Kentucky for 10 years. For 10 years. He went 2-10 in his first season, followed by 5-7, 5-7, then 8-5, then 7-6, then 10-3. Had a little bit of a shiner there. Back to 5-7, 5-7. I could be a little off from years here. Then to 10-2 again, and then last year projected to go 11-1, finished 7-6 with a first-round quarterback. I know we did too, but let me finish. Okay. Kavius Smoke, who's now at Colorado, and Chris Rodriguez, who is a phenomenal running back, and you had a pretty decent offensive line, and you couldn't get it done. You went 7-6, and I know Will Levis had some injuries throughout the year, but you're gonna sit here and tell me Mark Stoops is a great head coach. The guy has been there for 10 years and has been irrelevant for 10 years. In the 1 year that Kentucky finally gets the time to shine, it is literally wide open. You got to get through Georgia, right? Now, Tennessee obviously gave him a little bit of flack too. Wide open for years to take, and you go the same record as Billy Napier, who you were calling trash, who walked into a cluster. You're out of your mind. First of all, you lost credibility when you said that. So I'm gonna go, Steve. I don't even care. I don't mind them saying Florida State. I don't mind them saying Florida State. I think Mike Norvell has done a great job. Mind you, Mike's on his 4th year now. Okay, you and every FSU fan last year was getting ready to kick the boot on Mike Norvell. All of a sudden, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But I'll let you have it. Everyone forgets that FSU, just a year removed, didn't even make a bowl game. But I'll let you forget about it. Okay, Miami. Listen, we've had a bad 2-year stint. I can't disagree with you. Look, I don't hate the argument that we've been declining. I made that same argument as well. But behind Miami, Miami is not back. Miami does a phenomenal job of marketing and making people believe that they are good. I don't understand that. But you're trying to tell me that Cristobal, who was in Oregon, you want to talk about engine, who was in Oregon with Phil Knight in his back pocket when the Pac-12 was at its lowest. Mind you, he was there when USC went 4-8. The guy doesn't win the Pac-12 championship because he loses to Utah. Okay? Don't come in here and tell me, well, Utah's a good football team. Utah took over because Cristobal, you couldn't get it done. Facts. All right? And then you come to Miami when you even said a lot of talent and win 5 games and lose to Middle Tennessee. And you got John Ruiz, who's a great value of Phil Knight.
Smoked by Middle Tennessee. I just want to throw that out there.
And what's interesting, too, right? And before that, they didn't do anything. I think they were they had 10 win season like 4 years ago. But before that, it was like 7-5, 7-5, 8-4. They haven't been anybody but since anything, and I don't know how long, in the ACC. They haven't even made an ACC championship. Same for FSU. And how long has it been for FSU in an ACC championship? And I know I'm not here to have you kind of talk shit. We can scratch the bread for Florida and FSU. Neither of us are going to agree with that. I'm not here to argue with you on that. I can argue one way.
2014 is the answer, real fast. 2014.
2014. Florida has been in an SEC championship sooner, or not so long ago. So that video had me fired up. Look, a lot of it has to do where that video will surface because they have the title of our Barstool pushing them, right? But when I saw that take, I was like, bro, that is... And again, I'm a Florida fan, so I'm going to get knocked for being biased in my opinion on that. But come with it at facts. You're coming at it from feelings. Could you be right and you can come back and hit me in the face? Sure, but you have no rhyme or reason for any of those takes. To say Kentucky is better than Florida, you feel like Kentucky is going to be better than Florida the next 5 years? Kentucky's never finished in front of Florida in recruiting. So where the hell are you getting that? Where are you feeling like that? At what point... this past season, Billy finished worse than Mike Norvell. 6-7, you guys went 10-3. Billy finished in front of Mike Norvell in recruiting. Now you crush it in the portal, but finished in front of Mike Norvell in recruiting. Like, what are we talking about? Show me a data point on your reasoning that backs up what you said. You got nothing. What were you saying?
Yeah, there's nothing there. There's nothing there at all. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I think. Look, Miami is the king, to your point, of telling you every single year that they're back and that they are going to win it all and that they are, they're the new and greatest thing to come back to college football, because all they want to do is relive what they did in the 80s, right? They had the 80s. They had, 95 against Nebraska, where they lost that game, Ohio State. But look, all they're trying to do is just relive the 5 championship rings that put them on probation 3 times. If you really want to get down into the weeds of it, let's talk about the last, let's just go over the last 10 years of bowl wins. Let's just say you got to a bowl. You lose to LSU. You win against Nevada. Congratulations, by a point. You lose to Cal, you lose to Wisconsin, you lose to Notre Dame, you lose to Louisville, you lose to South Carolina, you lose to Washington State. Big deal for you. You won against West Virginia. You lose to Wisconsin. You lose to Wisconsin. Yeah, you lose to these guys left and right and left and right. And so what are you doing? Like, you can't even get to an ACC championship. The ACC isn't good. Cristobal comes in and all of a sudden has one guy in his back pocket that can essentially pay just about anybody they can find to come there. He still can't win. They still have no quarterback. Van Dyke isn't going to all of a sudden become, a Pro Bowl guy, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. They got a little bit of talent there, but when I say a little bit of talent, I mean a little bit of talent. So I don't see it. I don't believe that Cristobal, based on what I've seen with his head coaching ability, and he has had head coaching experience, it's never been good. It's never been very good. And Oregon was a perfect example. That team wasn't left in shambles. Like, don't get me wrong.
No reason he shouldn't have been more successful. He shouldn't have been more successful in Oregon.
Had a great season with Oregon, but he should have been cognizant. He should have been.
Cristobal and Oregon should have been the Oklahoma of the Pac-12. That's what should have happened.
Oh, for sure.
But guess what they were?
For sure.
They were Mark Richt, Georgia. That's what he was.
Yeah, let's not forget that he was also at FIU, stunk there. The guy, his overall head coaching record is a 50-50. He's literally 50-50 on his head coaching record, and he has had so much more to work with as a coach than I think what Billy has. He had to build in Louisiana. He had a good team last year. He had a talented team. Billy did last year. I don't think he had a good team. I don't think that was a cohesive unit that played well together.
First smart thing you said, Steve.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate that. I've been talking to you for going on 2 years now on this channel, and that's the first time you've ever said that to me.
First and last.
I won't expect it again.
Let's go ahead and move on so we don't ruin it.
I just don't think that. I don't think that. Right. I just don't think that that Cristobal has shown he has the ability to turn a team around.